Hi folks, this is Anthony. Welcome back to my show. Recently I've done a number of videos about New Year's resolutions and setting goals, including financial ones. We all know that keeping resolutions is much more difficult than coming up with them, and if you're like me, you may not have even started some of the ones that you had intended to do. But do not fret. Just because it's the middle of the month doesn't mean that you can't start, and obviously anything that you do proactively is probably better than doing nothing at all. Obviously, most resolutions require repetition, such as working out at the gym on a regular basis or even committing to going for walks a number of times a week. It's easy to come up with reasons each week not to do some of the things that you should do but don't absolutely have to do. Obviously, doing laundry or doing the dishes or taking out the garbage, whether or not you like doing it, you generally do it once or more times a week just because you'd run out of clean dishes or clean clothing to wear. But what are some things that can be done, perhaps on a snow day like this one, that can help resolve some issues in your life but don't necessarily require a commitment to weekly repetitive tasks? My list for my viewers usually begins with getting a will. Maybe this year I'll even do it. It's easy to put off for various reasons, but it's really better if you have one. Once you get one, you won't need to think about it for quite a while generally, and it will really help out your heirs if and when something happens to you. If you have an employer that offers a 401k and you haven't signed up for it, why not do so? I recently signed up for my 401k for my employer. It only took about 15 minutes. And it's something that I should have done 3 years ago, although I didn't think that I'd still be working there. Most employers match some amount of your contributions, and sometimes you have to wait a period of time before your employer's matches completely vest, although in the case of mine, it looks like it's automatic, which is great. In my defense, I'm very good at saving money and I've been contributing to a Roth IRA, so my lack of 401k contributions until recently isn't going to impact me like it would if I wouldn't have been saving anything. I recently spoke to an old colleague from another job I had years ago. She still hasn't signed up for her public sector retirement plan. Part of it is that she thinks that it will take her a long time to fill out the paperwork. Now, I don't know about her employer, which is a county government, but when I set up mine, it was online and took maybe 15 minutes. Now, I know people are busy, but everyone has 15 minutes, and once you do it, once you get it set up and your investment allocations made, you don't really need to worry about it or do anything else. You should check it once a year or so and see if things need to be rebalanced, but generally there's not a lot of active involvement that you need to do. Now, some people are reluctant to do it because they don't know where to put their money in. Usually you're going to have a handful of stock and or bond mutual fund options. The odds are, in the long run, if you pick some type of fund that has stocks in it and you hold it till retirement, you'll come out ahead. So don't be afraid of that. And as I go through some of my suggestions, you'll probably think of ones of your own. Get a piece of paper and make a list. Or make a list in the back of your diary or on a Word document on your computer, or whatever works for you that you will look at and use. No one needs to see it. It doesn't need to be fancy. But if you write down everything you need to do, and then you write down when you complete those tasks, it will help motivate you to keep on doing things. I've mentioned in other videos that for most people, we could simplify our lives by getting rid of things that we don't need, including clothing. There's lots of venues to get rid of clothing. Certainly Goodwill is one of them. But why not do a little research and see if there's a homeless shelter or an organization that deals with helping homeless teens or shelters for women who have left abusive relationships in your community. As you can see here, we're getting a minor snowstorm, and I've taken a couple days off from work since I have so much vacation time saved up. This is a great time to go through clothing and box it up and get it ready to take to whatever charity you find. Do you have dishes and kitchen items that you don't need that are still good? Again, you can take those to Goodwill, but if you belong to a church, it may be that there's church members who could use such items, or if there's a refugee organization that helps settle refugees in your community, they might be able to use those for their clients. Go through your pantry, and if there's food that hasn't expired that you're definitely not going to eat, then donate it to a food bank. Or if you're going to eat it and it hasn't expired, why not pull it out from the back of your shelf and consume it? Same thing with your refrigerator. And sometimes you have special foods that you want to save for a special occasion. Just start using your fancy mustard that you got from a relative on Christmas, because there's not going to be any special occasion where you need it in the future. Just start using it today. There's a lot of other things that we all need to do, going through photos that we don't need to have on our phone. Maybe they need to be deleted, or they need to be saved in the cloud or some other device where it's easier to retrieve. If you're watching a movie or something on YouTube that doesn't require 100% of your attention, why not go through old emails and delete ones that you definitely don't need? If you subscribe to various free industry newsletters that you don't need and hardly ever read, maybe unsubscribe to those so you have less coming into your inbox. In the United States, we still have a number of months before taxes are due, but that will be upon us quicker than we realize. So why not use this time to at least organize any paperwork that you currently have in preparation for filing your taxes? And I understand that there's still a couple more weeks before W-2s will come in the mail. That's fine, but it doesn't mean that you can't organize some of your other stuff if you have receipts that may be write-offs or things like that. Do you have too many books that you've already read or are never going to read, or you just don't need to have in your house? Again, donate those to charity or try to sell them on eBay if you have familiarity with that site. If you're like many Americans, you have a garage full of things that you haven't looked at and you haven't needed in years. I have a 2-car garage, and one side is clean enough that I can park my car in, but the other side has a wide range of things, mainly my own stuff, but also stuff that coworkers have given me to take to Goodwill that I haven't gotten around to taking, or stuff that was left by former relatives that I need to dispose of. If you're somebody that likes to listen to podcasts, why not bundle up and go out and work on cleaning your garage while you get informed by your favorite podcasts? People often have jars of coins or coins laying around the house, either pocket change from circulation or ones that might have more value to a collector. Why not gather up all that you have for the coins that really are pocket change? When I get them, I use them in the self-checkout line at my local grocery store. My bank no longer has a coin machine, and I can't understand why people would take their coins to something like Coinstar and then pay a high fee to use their machine. Just drop your coins into the self-checkout, and then the remainder of the bill you can use cash or a debit card or whatever. That way you get those coins out of your house and back into circulation without paying a fee. If you have other coins that may be collectible or foreign coins, you may have something that is worth something or a bunch of relatively valueless items. For most common date wheat-backed pennies, these are ones from 1909 to 1958. Most of them are hardly worth anything, and you might get 2 cents a piece for the common ones from a coin dealer. But if you have a current coin catalog, or if you don't, go to your local library and check one out, and then in your free time, go through what you have and see if there's anything really valuable. And if you have coins that aren't really worth anything, but it's something that great-grandpa brought back from the war, even though the catalog value might be 25 cents, it's okay to keep it as a family heirloom. But put it in an envelope or something and put a note with it so that your heirs know what it is and why it has significance to the family. Okay, there's a million things I could talk about, but I'm going to stop here just so that this doesn't get too long. The whole purpose of me encouraging you to come up with some type of plan to help organize and simplify your life is to create videos that actually inspire you to do so, and they help me also. And having something that isn't too long and sounds overwhelming isn't going to accomplish that. I actually may start a weekly series where I go over my accomplishments and milestones in organizing and simplifying my life, and I will encourage my viewers to contribute to that if I do it. I'll probably call it something like accountability audits or accountability buddy videos. Definitely let me know your thoughts on that, and if it's something that you'd be interested in watching as well as contributing to. Okay, I'll end this video. Please do hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hopefully you'll hit the like button, and please do leave a comment on anything you want to talk about. You can put down what your goals are. You can let us know what your goals that you've been reaching have been, or specific questions about organizing and goal setting. Thanks again, and hope to hear from you soon.